walks in the clubhouse, puts his uniform on, pitches the game. When the game's over, he has nothing done to his arm, and then leaves the ballpark. That's unusual today.
It really is unusual, and of course, it's worked for him. He's a Cy Young Award winner last year in the American League, and now in his second appearance for the Mets. And again, we'll say this is a big game because the Mets are on a roll at this point. They want to keep it going against the last-place Philadelphia Phillies.
And I think one of the reasons the Mets won't have a letdown is because of Frank Viola, his second start for the Mets, and he'll be opposed by Ken Howell. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll give you the lineups.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by Busch, the beer with a taste as smooth as it's made. By your New York, New Jersey, Fairfield County Buick dealer. By Manufacturers Hanover, the financial source worldwide. By TWA, today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. By Tri-State Chief Eagle. See your Tri-State Chief Eagle dealer where you can expect the best. By GE, from satellites to medical systems, we bring good things to life. By Texaco, star of the American road, and by your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Pretty good crowd on hand here at the Vet. A lot of Met fans coming down from New York, and they'll see this lineup for the New York Mets. Leading off, Keith Miller at second base. He'll be followed by Juan Samuel and then Howard Johnson. The middle three, right fielder Darryl Strawberry, Kevin McReynolds in left field. Of course, Strawberry and McReynolds with those big home runs against the Expos in Sunday's game. And then Dave Maggott in the first baseman. The bottom three, Barry Lyons, Kevin Elster, who's red hot, and Frank Viola.
And Ken Howell on the mound for the Philadelphia Phillies. Their best pitcher has a record 9-7, earned run average of 3.43. He has worked 133 and 2/3 innings, giving up only 100 hits. He has walked 58, struck out 109, and the opposition hitting just .213 against him so far this year. He's 1-1 lifetime against the Mets.
And defensively, the Phillies will set up with Jordan, Hurd, Thon, and Hayes in the infield, Krupp, Dykstra, and Hayes in the outfield, Lake behind the plate, and Howell on the mound. There's Lenny Dykstra, and by the way, we caught Lenny fraternizing with his old teammates before the game. There is a rule in baseball, you're not supposed to fraternize, but I'm sure it's been lifted for this occasion right here. The Mets just taking the field for batting practice. The Phillies were leaving the field, and of course Lenny Dykstra now holding court. So Lenny Dykstra talking with his old teammates. Lenny said he's very happy here in Philadelphia, but he has kind of written off the season, according to his interview during the pregame show. So
As far as the Phillies are concerned?
Yeah, he said, I'm just playing it out this year. He said, getting to know the area, and he said next year we'll come back. It's too early, though, to write it off.
I'll say there's about 5 or 6 weeks left to play in this season. There's a lot of time left and a lot of baseball.
Maybe Lenny really didn't mean it.
Well, the Mets will be leading off with Keith Miller. Miller hitting at .204 for the year. He has no home runs, 1 run batted in. Came up from Tidewater where he was hitting .266, and he takes a called strike. Ken Howell will come at you. He throws the ball hard, and he has, as we said, a 1-1 record against the New York Mets. Signed originally with the Dodgers and was used mostly as a relief pitcher with the Dodgers. He had 31 saves for LA in his major league career. He's had arm trouble. Was at Albuquerque last year, 10-11. And he gets a good call from home plate umpire Eric Gregg, and Miller unhappy with that call.
To illustrate how hard he throws, he's pitched about 300 innings in Major League Baseball, and he struck out 315 batters.
And the hard slider right there, a ball call, and it's 2-2. Looks like he's going to work fast in this ball game as you look at Juan Samuel in the on-deck circle. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Keith Miller, and the fastball is grounded foul. Miller has a lifetime average of .290 against Philadelphia, of course, of very few at-bats. He has been collecting frequent flyer mileage between Tidewater and the Mets over the last couple of years. Up and down like a proverbial yo-yo, and there's a strike 3 call.
That's a good slider right there. A real successful slider is not a real big breaking slider. It's usually a quick break at the end. Boom. Right on the black.
So Samuel is greeted by the fans here. Mixed emotion, as the greeting is a mixture of boos and cheers. Samuel playing for the first time here in Philadelphia since the trade. And he grounds the first pitch, a fastball foul. Samuel, since being in the number 2 spot in the batting order, has hit 5 of 6 games, hitting .429 over that period. In his last 18 games, he's hit .352, and he has raised his average up to .260. 10 home runs, 32 RBIs, and the slider again grounded foul at strike 2.
That ball he hit yesterday to the center field fence at Shea, if he hit it here,
it was gone.
Home run.
Samuel with the Mets has hit .277 with 2 home runs. Dykstra with the Phillies has hit .265 with 2 home runs. So if you look at the stats, the Mets have the best of it at this point.
Lenny's really struggling of late.
And the slider outside, and they count 1-2.
Of course, McDowell has been almost flawless since joining the Phillies until yesterday. And who gave him the problem? Terry Pendleton.
Ooh. Ground ball to third, fielded there by Charlie Hayes. The long throw in time for the out. So instead of Mike Schmidt, you have Charlie Hayes, and what a spot to have to fill.
Oh boy, he's been trying to fill that spot. He struggled a little bit defensively, especially when he first took over at third base. I believe he made 3 errors in 1 inning.
So now 2 men out, and the batter will be Howard Johnson. Howard second in the National League at all the power departments, and having a great year. And a check swing foul ball at strike 1.
By the way, Charlie Hayes has been in 39 games for the Phillies, and he has committed 12 errors.
That's a little hard to take.
I guess they're going to live or die with him at third base.
So you're looking at Charlie Hayes at third base. He's way over in the hole at his third base position. Howard Johnson hitting .295, 27 home runs. Second in the National League, and a strike call. 0-2. Howard Johnson with 70 runs batted in. That is third in the National League. He leads the National League in runs scored with 79. Second in total bases. And he is also second in slugging percentage. And strike 3, and that looked like a split finger fastball. So Ken Howell off to a fast start, striking out 2 of 3. And the score at the end of 1/2 inning. The Mets nothing. The Philadelphia Phillies coming up.
Well, back here at the vet, Mets fail to score top half of the inning. And for the Phillies in the bottom half, it'll be Lenny Dykstra leading off, to be followed by Tommy Herr and then Von Hayes. The middle 3, Ricky Jordan, John Crook, and then Charlie Hayes. And the bottom 3, Dickie Thon, Steve Lake, and then Ken Howell.
And Frank Viola on the mound for the Mets, his second appearance. He's 1-0, the win against the St. Louis Cardinals. And he has an earned run average of 2.25. He has worked 8 innings in the National League, given up only 4 hits. He has walked 5 and struck out 2. And the opposition hit him .154 against him so far this year.
Defensively for the Mets, it'll be Magadan, Miller, Elster, and Johnson in the infield. McReynolds, Samwell, and Strawberry in the outfield. Lyons behind the plate, Viola on the mound. And another ex-Met. I mentioned Roger McDowell doing very well since being traded to the Phillies. But yesterday he really struggled. Phillies had a lead. Roger lost the lead when Terry Pendleton hit a home run off of him in St. Louis. And then, of all things, Joe McGrain, a pitcher, went up to pinch hit against Jeff Parrott with the bases loaded, and Parrott walked him. Walked in the winning run.
Cardinals scoring 4 runs to win that ball game in their last at bat after Philadelphia had scored 3 in the top of the inning. Now Lenny Dykstra, the leader off, an idea about bunting. That's ball 1. Dykstra hitting .268 for the year. He has 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in. He's 2 for 11 against the Mets. And hitting .265 for the Philadelphia Phillies. A little sentiment there with that banner.
There's Davey Johnson, I'm sure, looking on now, because Davey never felt that Lenny would hit left-handers.
Lenny's lifetime batting average .279 with 32 home runs now. He has 130 career stolen bases. This is his 5th year in the major leagues, and the fastball a called strike.
And he's facing one of the better left-handers in the major leagues, Frank Viola. So Davey has percentage on his side today.
Viola won the Cy Young Award in the American League last year with a 24-7 record for the Minnesota Twins. He has 112 major league victories. And he misses with a fastball 3-1.
Now managers will tell left-handed hitters more so than right-handed hitters, will say, well, you have trouble against left-handers, so the way they prove they're right is they never play against the left-hander, and when they do, you play against the best left-hander. How many times have you seen that happen?
And the 3-1 pitch. Right in there, called strike 3 and 2. Dykstra taking all the way. Phillies got off to a pretty good start this year. They won 11 and lost 12 in April, averaging 5 runs a game, but that was when Von Hayes was just tearing up the league. They had a terrible May. They were 7-19 and averaged under 3 runs in May. And this pitch popped into the air and playable. Here comes McReynolds, an easy play for him. And Dykstra's out. Well, the one thing they said about Lenny Dykstra was he hits too many fly balls, and there's a case in point right there.
Well, that used to drive Davey crazy. He wanted his leadoff man to put the ball in place, well, especially here in Philadelphia on the artificial turf. Lenny will hit some home runs. He's strong, but he's not going to hit enough home runs where you can forgive the flyouts.
And that brings up Tommy Herr, the veteran of 11 years in the major leagues, hitting .276 with 1 home run, 29 runs batted in. Lifetime batting average of .273 with 21 home runs. In his major league career, he has 169 stolen bases. He's hit 5 of his 21 home runs against the Mets, and there's a called strike. One of them a grand slam home run. That won a ball game against the Mets. Came in extra innings off of Jesse Orozco.
Well, back in '85, this guy, as a second baseman, drove in 110 runs. Very unusual for a second baseman.
And he did it with less than 10 home runs.
I think there's been only about 10 or 11 second basemen to drive in 100 runs. Davey Johnson missed it by 1. He said that's one thing he regrets in his career. He drove in 99 the year he hit over 40 home runs.
43 home runs that year and only drove in 99 runs. And the breaking ball is taken in the dirt, 2-1. That was the year that 3 players on the same team hit 40 or more home runs. That's never been done before or since. Davey had the most. He had 43. Darrell Evans had 41, and Hank Aaron, 3rd on his club in home runs that year. He had 40.
Hank had a bad year.
There's a 2-1 pitch, and it's hit foul into the stand.
But that was surprising to me, Ralph, that I believe it's only 7 second basemen in the history of Major League Baseball that have driven in 100 or more runs.
I probably could name 2. Rogers Hornsby.
I'll guarantee you you're right there.
And also Charlie Gehringer.
You know who else did it? Bobby Dorr, I believe, did it.
Could have been. Bobby had some pretty good years up there in Boston. Joe Gordon?
I would say Joe Gordon.
Pretty good chance. Ground ball to the second base side, fielded by Keith Miller. And Herr an easy out. So 2 up and 2 away, and that'll bring up Von Hayes. Hayes down to .269. He has 15 home runs, 12 of the 15 here in Vet Stadium, and he's driven in 54.
We interviewed Von Hayes at a post-game show when the Phillies were in New York, and he said the reason he got out to such a great start is he watched Wade Boggs hit in spring training and watched how Wade would view the ball all the way from the pitcher's hand into the glove. We'll see if he still does it.
And the first pitch of fastball, a called strike.
And he
watched it right in there.
Watch this. He watches it right into the glove. Pete Rose did this on every pitch.
So did Johnny Mize.
You know,
That's not a bad habit. I think a lot of hitters do it. Take it right on back, and that way you keep your head on the ball.
I told you in New York the other day, Howard Johnson was in the batting cage underneath the stands at about 3 o'clock bunting the balls, and he said, I'm not going to bunt in the game. I just want to watch the ball hit the bat. And this was even before batting practice.
I know. I used to go out where the pitcher was warming up for a ball game and stand in the batter's box and follow the ball into the catcher's glove.
Is that right?
And not, you know, obviously not swing, just check out the action of the ball coming to you from the pitcher.
And some guys, before a game, when their pitcher's warming up, they'll run down to the bullpen with a bat in their hand and stand at home plate just to watch the ball.
1-2 pitch to Von Hayes, and he reaches for it, gets lucky and fouls it off and stays alive.
It's amazing how some guys prepared to play the game. Don Mattingly, a hard worker before the game, hits off the tee, takes batting practice.
So Frank Viola working with the count of 1-2 to Von Hayes. No score in the game. 2 men out. We're in the bottom half of the first. Good curveball hit down to the first baseman Magadan, who throws to Viola covering. And the side retired in order. The score at the end of 1. It's the Phillies nothing, the New York Mets nothing.
Tuesday, catch twice the Mets action at Shea when Howard Johnson and company collide with the St. Louis Cardinals in a twilight doubleheader. It's a crucial double bill for the Mets as they race for the pennant. The Mets battle the Cards Thursday at 5, live and exclusive on Sports Channel.
Well, we're top of the second inning, and Doc Gooden there having a little fun with Sid Fernandez and Bob Ojeda.
Sid Fernandez very happy about the way he's throwing the ball now. Listen to the reception Darrell's getting here in Philly.
So Strawberry to lead it off for the Mets. Darrell hitting .234, 23 home runs, 56 RBIs, and the first pitch, ball 1. Darrell in the Montreal series, a fine series. He was 6 for 10. And of course his home run tied up the game in the 7th inning yesterday, and it went 14 with the Mets winning 2-1. This ball topped out to the second baseman Herr. The throw to first in time, and Tommy Herr, good play.
Well, no lost motion here. No time to set. He knows Darrell can run, and he flips the ball to first. Very good play by Tommy Herr. Watch Herr moving to his right, throwing off balance. It's got to be the toughest play for a second baseman. We've seen some great moves on that play this year. Of course, last year we've seen Jose Lind throw somebody out from left field.
Now Kevin McReynolds, and he goes after the slider and misses. Strike 1. McReynolds on a hot streak, hitting .285. He has 12 home runs, 57 RBIs. His last home run won that ball game yesterday in the 14th. And again, the slider, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. McReynolds in his last 23 at-bats with 10 hits, batting .435, 2 of them 2-base hits, 1 of them a 3-base hit, and 3 home runs. He also has driven in 10 runs in his last 23 at-bats. At his all-time RBI day, the day he hit for the cycle in St. Louis, he drove in 6. And he fouls off the fastball.
Great interview on Kiner's Corner yesterday with Kevin McReynolds.
He actually smiled.
Yes, he did. He had a lot to smile about.
And his wife Jackie expecting in about 2 weeks, he said. Fastball grounded down, and the count stays at 2-2.
Well, she was a weightlifter, so that's going to be a strong baby. I asked Kevin one time if he could beat his wife in arm wrestling. He didn't hesitate. He said, without a doubt.
And he goes after the low slider, grounds it to third, and Charlie Hayes over to first, and he gets his man. So the Mets have yet to hit a ball hard.
Well, he's trying to fill Mike Schmidt's shoes, And here's Hayes coming in, gloves the ball, and throws the ball low to first base. But in time to get Kevin McReynolds.
So 2 men away, and Dave Magadan, the batter. Dave hitting .284. He has 4 home runs, 31 RBIs. Magadan earlier this year with a 12-game hitting streak. Elster later on tied it, and that's a high for the Mets this year. Lenny Dykstra has the longest hitting streak for the Phillies. He had a 14-game hitting streak earlier. And that one called a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The home plate umpire, Eric Gregg at first base, Jim Quick, the umpire at second, the crew chief, John Kibler, and Jerry Davis, the umpire at third. And the slider too low on the count, 2-1.
Engineer Eric Gregg behind the plate makes his home here in Philadelphia. We're in the Philadelphia area. Used to work out in the off-season, I believe, here at the vet.
And that fastball inside, 3 balls, 1 strike.
And I believe Eric Gregg was the youngest umpire ever to umpire in the major leagues. He worked out many years ago here at the vet.
And it's hit down to first. Good play by Jordan as he takes a base hit away and picks up the out that ends the inning. First ball hit hard by the Mets. And a good play by Jordan. So after 1.5 innings, it's the Mets nothing and the Philadelphia Phillies nothing. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Mets and is intended for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Mets, Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Ricky Jordan, who turned in the final out in the top of the second to lead it off. Jordan hitting .274. He has 6 home runs, 43 RBIs, and Frank Viola picks up a strike with a changeup. Jordan last year hit the scene with a big splash. He hit .308 last year in 69 games with 11 home runs. His first season in the majors, and he fouls off a fastball.
They're very high on Jordan. They feel he will hit with a lot of power before he's through here in Philly. Also, the only problem he's really had is he's had difficulty throwing the ball. So I guess if you're going to have trouble throwing the ball, the place to put him, although it's not really that safe, is first base.
And the fastball did deep to left center field. Extra bases, and it's 1 hop off the fence. So Jordan going in with a 2-base hit, and he is a first base runner. Hard hit ball by Ricky Jordan off the fastball.
Well, you're looking at Ricky Jordan. Here's his 12th double of the season. Good stroke right there. Hits the ball off the wall. McReynolds gets the ball back in a hurry, but Jordan on second base with a double.
And that extends his hitting streak to 9 consecutive ball games. And it brings up John Kruk, who is red hot. Kruk hitting .289 with 5 home runs, 29 runs batted in. He has hit in 12 straight ball games, hitting .436 over the 12 games. And he has been tough with runners in scoring position, and the first pitch, a fastball, a swing and a miss.
Well, last time the Mets pitched to John Kruk, they started to jam him. He hits the ball the other way. Right now, they're playing him straight up all the way around. But they pitched him in. Most of his home runs are hit to left field.
He's only hit 2 to right field. And he has a total of 38 in his major league career. And he takes, for a ball, it's 1-1. Kruk, with runners in scoring position, hitting .366.
There's his old manager right there, Larry Bowa. Bowa managed Kruk in San Diego. Bowa now the third base coach with the Phillies.
And a good curveball. It's top foul to the right side.
Remember how John Kruk used to dive into the ball? Not diving into the ball now.
You know, the most amazing thing about Kruk, in 4 years in the major leagues, he's never been hit by a pitch.
Well, one of the reasons is right there. He's ready to bail on the left-hander. But he really dives into the ball. One of the reasons he drills the ball to left center field. The Mets started to pitch him in last time around.
It's hard to believe he'd go 4 years and never be hit by a pitch, and he's hit the ball well. And it's grounded out to the second base side. That'll move the runner. The throw to first base by Miller for the out. And Jordan over at third. So a runner at third with one away, and Charlie Hayes will be the batter, batting for the first time against the Mets. Overall is hitting .244 with 4 home runs and 19 runs batted in. He had home runs in 3 consecutive games earlier this year on July 28th, 29th, and 30th. And he goes after the fastball, fouls it back.
Keep in mind, Frank Viola has an outstanding changeup. When a young player comes up in the minor leagues, catchers and pitchers know that this kid's a good fastball hitter because that's what usually gets you to the big leagues. If you can't hit the fastball, you won't get out of the minor leagues.
And there's that changeup, and he was way out in front of it. He hit .307 at Phoenix before he was traded from the Giant organization to the Phillies.
What you want to do is find out if he can hit an off-speed pitch, especially in a tight spot. This is a tight spot, and that's a great changeup.
Mets with their infield back. If he grounds the ball to anywhere in the infield, a run should score. And he hits it hard at Elster. Elster will go to first base, and he picks up the out as the run scores, and the Phillies take the lead 1-0 on the RBI by Charlie Hayes.
Take a look at that swing again. It looked like Charlie Hayes hit the ball. Yeah, he hit the ball off the end of the bat, but he hit the ball hard. A nice play by Elster. Only one play, and they get the runner at first.
Number 21, shortstop.
So Elster picking up the out. He had no play at home, and it brings up Dickie Thon. Thon hitting .245 for the year with 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in. And he takes a fastball for a called strike. Thon earlier this year on July 4th broke up a perfect game being pitched by Tom Browning. He broke it up as he led off the 9th inning. No pitcher has ever pitched 2 perfect games. Browning had pitched 1 and had 8 innings of another when Dickie Thon spoiled it with a double to right center field.
There have been about 7 guys to throw a perfect game for 26 batters. The last one to do it was Dave Steve.
Just the other day.
Imagine that. Only 7 guys. Don Robinson, I believe, was the 6th.
Little byplay here, taking behind the scenes as Thon has struck out, and that'll end the inning. But a base hit and a run scored. No one left on base to score at the end of 2 innings of play here at the Vet. The Phillies won, the New York Mets nothing. Steve Carlton's number 32 has been retired here at the Vet. Great left-handed pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies and others, but the main part of his career right here with Philadelphia.
Imagine if he pitched his whole career in New York. Of course, Mike Schmidt, he'll retire his number here. 548 home runs. Future Hall of Famer, both Mike Schmidt and Steve Carlton.
It's Kevin Miller being attended to by the trainer of the Mets. Something in his eye, so
Steve Garland.
Steve Garland is checking him out as we look at the leadoff batter for the Mets here in the top of the 3rd, Barry Lyons. Lyons taking the first pitch for ball 1. Lyons hitting .250 for the year, 2 home runs, 18 runs batted in. And he takes again for ball 2. Ken Howell on the mound for the Phillies, a record of 9-7. Hard hit ground ball, but pulled foul 2-1. I think one of the greatest feats for Steve Carlton was the year he won 27 ball games and did it for a last place ball club.
He was Really unbelievable that year. I remember him pitching against the Giants.
And the fastball high for ball 3.
I'll tell you what he did. Gary Maddox, who's one of the broadcasters for Prison here in Philadelphia, was involved. Gary Maddox used to lead off for the Giants.
And it's ball 4, so the Mets get their first base runner.
Gary, it was the time of, it was the early 70s, Flip Wilson, remember? Flip Wilson was on TV, and he had this handshake, which was a complicated handshake. Well, when Gary Maddox came to the big leagues, Bobby Bonds was leading off. And Bobby Bonds would hit a home run, and when he'd get to the plate, they do this complicated handshake. I'll never forget the night Philly came into San Francisco, and Bobby Bonds went over to Gary Maddox and told him, hey, look it, with this guy pitching tonight, don't do it. Well, he did it. First time Bonds did a home run, they did it. The Flip Wilson handshake. Gary Maddox stepped in to hit against Carlton. He separated the helmet from the head.
And now Kevin Elster, who has done a job with that bat, takes the first pitch for ball 1. Elster, now hitting .239, has raised his average 39 points in his last 19 ball games. He has hit in 18 of the 19 games, hitting .381. And he brings a 6-game hitting streak into this game. 8 for 22, that's .364. In his 19 ball games, he has driven in 16 runs, and this ball drilled to left, but it's foul.
Wow.
So Kevin Elster just a shade out in front.
Well, they were trying to get Kevin to hit the ball the other way. He tried it early in the year. He got his hits, but not with the authority of this ball right here. He's been really hitting the ball with authority lately. Good swing.
In his last 19 games, he's had 4 home runs. And he has tied his last year's high for runs batted in right here this year in the swing at the breaking ball. Last year he drove in 37 runs and had 9 home runs. This year he has 37 RBIs with 6 home runs. And last year he hit .214. This year he's hitting .239 after the fine performance over the last 19 games.
But to shake his reputation, this poor guy's going to have to get hot for like 2.5 years.
That's right. Nobody's going to believe any
No.
short period of time. And he's fooled by that pitch that looks like a split finger fastball. And he struck out.
It's tough once you get that reputation, good field, no hit. You get hot for 3 weeks and they won't believe you. It's a good pitch right there. And here's Kevin's swing. You just have to tip your hat to the pitcher.
And speaking of the pitcher, that brings up the pitcher, Frank Viola. Frank has batted twice in the major leagues, both times with the Mets. He's 0 for 2, and he squares and tries to bunt, misses the ball entirely.
Tell you, the thinking process about the bunt on the artificial turf changes as opposed to the natural surface. Hayes is coming way in. Donna's going over to cover second base.
And this one he takes, and it's 1-1.
You have to be pretty accurate when you do that butcher boy chop on natural surface, but on artificial turf, you just put the ball on this turf, it's got a shot at going through the infield. Even if you push the bunt hard.
And he bunts on it again and misses, and it's 1-2. If you could bunt the ball by the third baseman, you got a 2-base hit.
That's right. I mean, Don was all the ways over covering second base, and Hayes is just way in on Viola. Now, Hayes is still in. He's not sure what's going to transpire here.
And he attempts to bunt on the 1-2 count. Takes way inside 2-2. Steve Lake, the catcher, has done an outstanding job throwing runners out. He's thrown out 50% of the runners, attempting to steal second or third. And again, he squares, makes a bunt out to the mound, and Howell had to play at second and then changed his mind. So instead of picking up the force at second, he gets the out at first, and the Mets get a runner in scoring position.
Well, what would you do if you're Howell? Ball bunted right back to him. Keep in mind, pretty good movement on the ball because of the turf. And Howell goes to first base for the sure out.
So the sacrifice moves Lyons to second and brings up Keith Miller, who struck out his first time up. And the breaking ball a called strike. Keith Miller has played every game at second as a starting second baseman since he was recalled from Tidewater, and that was started back against the St. Louis Cardinals on the last road trip. And it's hit to the shortstop, Dickie Thon. Throw to first base in time for the out that retires the side. A walk, a man left at second. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings, it's the Phillies 1, the Mets nothing. Now let's join Leandra Riley in our studios.
Thank you very much, Ralph Kiner, and welcome to our Sports Nightly studios here in New York. It is a big night in the National League East. The two teams that are tied for first are going head-to-head at Wrigley Field as the Montreal Expos try to put the end to a 4-game skid. No score in the top of the first. At Three River Stadium, it's the Cardinals and the Pirates. First inning, 1-0 Cards lead. Pedro Guerrero singles up the middle off a struggling Rick Reed, scoring Ozzie Smith, and that gives the Redbirds a 2-0 lead. The score we have right now is 4-0 in the top of the third. Over in the American League, Twins against the Orioles. Twins on top, 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Orioles are 2.5 games ahead of Boston and Toronto. Right now, the Red Sox and Kansas City Royals will be getting underway in just a few minutes. Rangers against the Blue Jays. Blue Jays win this one 2-1. Yankees at Cleveland in the top of the third. The Yankees are on top by a run. And the first of a twin bill between Detroit and Milwaukee. The Tigers win 5-3. Second game will be getting underway in just a few moments. And in just a moment, we'll send you back to the Mets. I'm Leandra Riley. See you later.
It's 1 ball, 1 strike. St. Louis in a virtual tie with the Mets for third place. They both trail Montreal by 4 games. And Montreal tied with the Cubs. They also trail the Cubs by 4, and there's that good changeup by Viola. 1-2 the count. Lake at one time played for the Cubs. They wanted to send him to the minor leagues. He refused to go, so he was sold to St. Louis. And then moved on here to Philadelphia. 2-2.
It's amazing. Times have changed. You can refuse to go to the minor leagues. There are minor league players who, after a certain number of years in the minor leagues, can play out their options.
6 years in the minor. And this ball fouled away, so the count will stay.
Years ago, certain teams were able to bury guys with great ability just to back up their major leaguers.
First major league player to refuse to report to another major league ballpark was traded from St. Louis to Philadelphia. Kurt Flood.
That's right.
And another foul ball out of play. When Flood refused to report, he was put on the disqualified list. And later on, they made another trade to take player to take his place. Tim McCarver was in that trade.
He was involved in the trade. I believe Richie Ashburn, not Richie Ashburn, Richie Allen went from Philadelphia to St. Louis. Became one of the few bona fide power hitters at Busch Stadium.
He was a power hitter in Yellowstone Park.
He was one of the best hitters I've ever played against.
Great hitter. There's a book out right now called Crash. And there's a swing and a miss, and Steve Lake has struck out. 2 in a row for Viola. He now has 2 on the game.
Nice fluid motion. Frank Viola. Got a good pitch. He's got a great straight changeup. One of the best in baseball. Watch his motion. They say pitchers need nice fluid motion not to hurt their arm. Well, this is a fluid motion. But you can throw that hurt your arm theory out the window because Bobby Ojeda has a great motion. So does Dwight Gooden.
So after the strikeout, the batter is the pitcher, Ken Howell, who's had 4 hits and 42 at bats. He's going to bunt his way on and fouls it off. Again, the changeup, and they count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There's Bobby Ojeda looking through the Philly media guide.
He's due to pitch Wednesday afternoon when the Mets and Phillies play.
It's not a bad idea to look through a media guide.
And another strikeout. So 3 in a row by Viola. as he gets Lake and Howell on pitches out of the strike zone.
It's from a media guide to find out if a guy's hit home runs over his career, if you really don't know him. I'm sure Frank Viola's gone over the hitters with not only the catcher, but he's gone over the hitters with the coaching staff.
But basically, a pitcher like Viola, though, will pitch his own ball game.
Oh, sure.
Doesn't make a whole lot of difference who's hitting.
Well, he told me he goes over the hitters with Gary Carter.
Now, he certainly would talk it over with someone like Carter, who knows the hitters well,
Yeah.
and find out what guys are better curveball hitters or can hit the curveball or like the changeup.
But you're right. You don't change. If you're a hard thrower, you don't all of a sudden start throwing knuckleballs.
You don't change your plan, especially after you won the Cy Young Award.
I got a feeling somebody in the Met Ball Club said throw Lenny a lot of breaking balls.
And Lenny gets one, and that's ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had 2 so far in this at bat. He popped up a fastball to left field his first time up. He gets a change of pace right there. So it's 1-2 to Lenny Dykstra, one of the most popular Mets players. He's in his 5th year in the major leagues. He played his first 4 years with the New York Mets at .279 over that period of time. And the fastball just misses. 2-2. That's a great pitch right
Oh, yeah.
there.
Catcher's got to talk to Eric Gregg. Gently you tell him Eric didn't miss by much. You gave him that pitch. You hope you steal the next one. If Ralph Kiner's hitting, you have to put up with his abuse then.
And the changeup gets him. So 4 in a row go down swinging. A 1-2-3 inning with 3 strikeouts, and the score at the end of 3 as Rusty Staub joins me. It is the Philadelphia Phillies 1, the New York Mets 0.
In August on Sports Channel, the Mets pennant race burns hot with 15 big games. Travel to Cooperstown with Halls of Fame. The Premier profiles Johnny Bench. USWA Wrestling continues every Wednesday. August on Sports Channel. A lot to get excited about.
Well, you've seen Randy K. Myers on the mound go through his ritual. Also, the mad Hungarian Rabowski. Here is Ken Howell's ritual that he does as he goes out to warm up for the inning. Picks the ball up, walks around the mound that way, and then goes back up on top. And a man coming in who had more rituals than anyone I ever knew, Rusty Staub.
All right, Ralph, thank you. I don't know about those rituals or not.
You went through all kinds of things before you ever got in there.
Nah, I had some things before the game, yes. When Samuel takes the ball, I think everybody has certain little idiosyncrasies they go through. I had mine.
That's putting it mildly.
Another ball down.
Man who wore 2 different kinds of shoes when he played first base.
That was only in Houston, Texas now, and there was a reason for that.
He wore 1 set of batting gloves and 1 set of sliding gloves.
Ground ball to short. Don up with it over the first. Samuel, almost a collision with Ricky Jordan, but he's out. Ricky Jordan, we've told everybody many times, is a guy that has very good hands at first base. His problem is when he takes it out of the glove and has to throw it.
Well, here's the throw by Thon, and Samuel going hard down the line. The throw pulls him off the bag, and he makes a sweep and spin around to get out of the way of Samuel.
Brings up Howard Johnson. Howard struck out his first time up. Strawberry in the on-deck circle. This ball inside. Ralph, I think the biggest difference in Howell since he was a relief pitcher with the Dodgers is the effectiveness of that slider he's throwing tonight. That's a heck of a pitch.
He was traded to Baltimore, and then in the continuation of that trade was traded here to Philadelphia.
Another ball inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Howard. infield extremely deep on the right side. Tommy Herr behind the white line. Hard ground ball to first, snapped by Jordan. Over and takes it himself. Ball hit pretty good back to back there, but the Philly infielders have been scooping them up. Brings up a straw man.
Right fielder, Darryl Strawberry.
Straw grounded out to Tommy Herr. Tommy Herr made a nice play on the ball. Had to go up the middle a little bit, turn around, off balance, and make a good throw to first base. Ball through the catcher for a ball. I want to point out that this Philly staff leads the league in wild pitches, and this man on the mound tonight, Ken Howell, is one of the real culprits. 17 wild pitches he's had so far this year.
The Phillies are throwing 62 wild pitches. That's almost double anybody else in the league. They've also walked 429.
2 balls, no strikes on Strawberry.
Phillies last in their run average at 3.97, but Howell here a little stronger. He's 3.43. How can you throw 17 wild pitches?
You got to work at it. He's got some time to go. He could set an all-time record.
Not being a knuckleball pitcher.
That's it. 3-0. Strawberry takes ball 4.
Well, the Mets get their second base runner, both on walks.
This guy's ready. He's going to challenge the mountain any day now. Just warming up here at the vet. Actually, he's serving a beverage.
That's a dispenser. How about that?
That's a.
Never seen that before.
I'm with you. That's a good one for me too.
John Morley, our concessionaire at Shea, ought to take a look at that.
Ball way inside to McReynolds. We have to get that guy to come with us on the flights. Get on the bus before we get there. Just another concessionaire. Ball and no strikes to Kevin McReynolds.
Looks like
Strawberry, go ahead.
Getting ready for Mount Everest.
He's there. Strawberry, that foot on the turf. Another ball outside. That's 6 in a row by Ken Howell.
Well, here's a guy you got to let beat himself, and you got to make him throw some pitches out there because he's got good stuff. But as you can tell by the stats, those wild pitches and walks have been his problem this year, and he has a record of 9-7. There's a bad pitch.
He threw a breaking ball, 2 balls and no strikes to Kevin McReynolds. The Phillies are very aware of how hot McReynolds has been. Ken Howell, who has a good fastball, said no dice. Threw him a hook. Strawberry, foot on the turf. Checks his swing, but home plate umpire Eric Gregg says strike 2.
Now, Eric with a big strike zone. He is a pitcher's umpire.
I think for the most part, umpires are pitchers umpires. Their strike zones are wide. Very few umpires make them. Throw the ball over the plate. Fouled straight back by McReynolds. Doug Harvey made you throw strikes. Harry Windelstead would give the low strike, but he would make you throw on the corners. Every umpire has his own zone. You have to know it. Ground ball. Little toss over to second base by Charlie Hayes, and that's going to do it for the Mets. After 3.5 innings, they trail the Phillies 1-0.
Hey kids, dress like the big leaguers with your very own Mets Pro wristband, courtesy of Starter. On Sunday, August 13th, when the Mets play the Cardinals, all fans 14 and under will receive a Starter wristband with the Mets #1 logo. Game time is 1:35 p.m. Tickets are available at all Ticketron outlets, Shea's Advance Ticket Window, or call 718-507-TIXX for more information. Mets baseball, excellence, again and again.
Hey kids, two of your favorite promotions are making a surprise return August 15th and 17th when the Mets play the Padres. On Tuesday the 15th, the first 10,000 fans 14 and under will receive a copy of SI for Kids magazine and a water bottle from Cycle Products. Game time is 7:35 p.m. And on Thursday, the first 10,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Mets starting lineup action figure. Game time is 1:35 p.m. For ticket info, call 718-507-TIXX for more information.
Back at the vet, the Mets trailing the Phillies 1-0. Tommy Herr, Von Hayes, and Ricky Jordan face Viola. Here's our guy. I don't know what's in that refreshment tank. It says ice cold fruit juice. Boy, what will they think of next? Viola ready. Tommy Herr always takes a while to get in the batter's box. Off-speed pitch for a ball.
Gotta say, where was that pitch? It looked like it went clear through the strike zone.
Viola's breaking ball is very big.
Look at the size of this curveball. How this ball could be called a ball. That thing went all the way through the strike zone.
It's the perception of the umpire.
Wow.
Little turnaround with a bunt. Tommy Herr, but he takes it for a strike. 1-1.
I guess Eric said it was right over, but too slow.
There's Eric Gregg. Eric's lost a lot of weight. Off-speed pitch. Pulled the string, Viola. As I said, Tommy Herr, a lot of activity outside of the batter's box. He's not a complete human rain delay, but he's close. That's a ball. 2-2 now. Davey Johnson on the phone. I don't know exactly what Davey's doing. Checking with something. Tommy Herr, swing and a miss. Tommy Herr that time walked up in the batter's box, trying to get to the off-speed pitch, almost anticipating that Viola was going to throw it.
He did throw it, but Tommy didn't walk up far enough.
Take a look at this one.
There's the double step. Now, if he's out of the batter's box and hits a home run, he doesn't get credit for the home run. He's out.
That's 5 in a row for Viola.
Now, he steps out of the batter's box right here. Ted Williams did that on Rip Sewell's blooper pitch in that All-Star game that they still talk about when he hit it out of the ballpark. Sewell said he was not a legal batter because he was out of the batter's box.
How'd it turn out?
He got the home run.
All right. Von Hayes, a ball and no strikes. Ball outside, 2-0. Larry Boa giving the signs for Nick Leva down at third base. At first base, Tony Taylor, big favorite here. The vet. Both players spending most of their careers in Philadelphia. Here's Tony. Hayes takes a strike on an off-speed pitch. In fact, Tony Taylor, I thought, as much credit as Larry Boa gets for being a smart player, and he was, Tony Taylor was one of the smartest players I ever played against, Ralph. Really had an idea what to do out there. Just on that outside corner, Von Hayes does not like the call. He's yelling good now. Check this one out.
Talk about a pitcher's umpire, huh?
Whoa.
Pretty close.
I think Frankie Viola got a break there. Hayes is like the vet. 11 of his 15 home runs right here. Boy, he had some guts taking that one after the previous one.
Before you got on, Rusty, they had a shot of a very pretty lady with a very small baby, and we just got a call from a listener who said that was Lenny Dykstra's wife, and that was Lenny Dykstra's new baby.
Line to right field. Strawberry up with it. Von Hayes on first with a single.
Well, that broke the string of 5 consecutive strikeouts. The record is 10, held by Tom Seaver. 10 consecutive strikeouts in a Major League ball game. So there you see Lenny Dykstra's wife, and you really get just a little look at the new baby.
And his wife, a beautiful gal. She's got her hands full.
With Lenny or the baby?
I think with Lenny. I think the baby's the easiest thing that's happened.
The baby's got to be easy, huh?
Ricky Jordan doubled his first time up, was moved to third on a ground out by Kruk. Good job by Kruk getting in the third. And then the Mets deciding to keep the infield back. A ground out scored Jordan. Throw to first. And that's where we are right now. 1-0 Phillies.
Von Hayes with 21 stolen bases in 28 attempts.
Big swing, throw down to first. Safe. Barry Lyons likes that throw. Does it from his knees most of the time. It's getting to be a thing in the big leagues.
Benito Santiago. Tony Pena does it too.
1-1, 1 out. Von Hayes at first. Off-speed pitch. Strike 2. Viola really seems like he locks in during the game. His concentration seems to be great, Ralph. It's probably one of his real strengths. You see Hayes leading off at first. Jordan swinging at a ball tailing away from him. That's it for Jordan. Strike 3.
Well, Viola's last 6 outs have been strikeouts.
See that ball tail away?
What's the movement on that one? Jordan way out in front, so he must have pulled the string on that one because he almost fell down on that one.
6 strikeouts for Viola. John Kruk at the plate. I'm a little surprised to see Von Hayes so conservative over at first. I know he does not know Viola. Ball outside. John Kruk, not a guy who pulls the ball, so you're not going to try to save the hole between first and second for him.
And he goes the other way. He's really done a job since coming to Philadelphia, hitting .352 for the Phillies after leaving San Diego.
That 12-game hitting streak. Oh, he's got him maybe. He really fooled him. Von Hayes lucky to get back on that one.
Well, you'll see Von Hayes make that little move towards second before he starts back to first, and he was lucky to get back. Here it is. Now watch this move. He was going to go on that pitch.
All the way.
But
good throw. Yeah, if he'd had him.
Yeah, good throw would have had him.
Charlie Hayes in the on-deck circle. John Kruk at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 down. Another ball outside, 2-0. Boa giving some signs now to John Kruk. Everybody paying attention. One thing you find out about the American League pitchers, Ralph, even more so than some of the guys in the National League, is that 2-0 does not mean a fastball. There goes Hayes, swinging a foul back.
It's amazing how things change. Back in the 40s and 50s, the American League was known as a fastball league and the National League as a breaking ball league, and now the cycle has reversed. More hard throwers in the National League.
One of the things that has changed, I know, since my time when I first came up, 2-0, 3-1, you challenged. You didn't throw a breaking ball. That's out the window now. And I think in a positive way. I think that's a good thing. Just outside 3-1. Will they send Hayes on a 2-0 count? Will they send him on a 3-1? Why not?
As a hitter, I would rather not have him go. I'd want the 3-1 pitch to be my pitch as a hitter. And if they got a strike, then, of course, go on the 3-2.
I liked it on a 3-1 count, particularly with 2 outs when they sent him, Ralph. I knew that runner would be in motion. There'd be some activity on the infield.
Now, you're trying to hit that ball through the hole vacated by the infielder covering, though.
I like to get that ball in the gap then, drive that run in. That's what I wanted. Kind of an awkward throw to first by Viola. Pitcher's in a situation where he's got to throw a strike. If he makes a real good one, it can almost be like a hit and run situation, but you can't swing at a really bad pitch. Line drive, base hit to center field. That time Hayes was not going.
So John Kruk extends his hitting streak to 13 consecutive games with that base hit. The longest streak by a Philadelphia Philly player so far this year, 14 by Lenny Dykstra. Kruk's a bona fide hitter. He's the throwback to don't let it pass, and he gets a bat on the ball, and he hits the ball the other way most of the time. That one's straight away.
And fans, when you worked up a thirst cheering for the Mets, head for the mountains. Because the smooth, refreshing Busch beer is always the easiest call to make. Charlie Hayes. Swing and a miss. Two down, men on first and second. Young Charlie Hayes. He's hit one on the upper deck here. He has surprised the Phillies with his bat, but he's also surprised the Phillies with his glove. 36 games, 12 errors. Takes a ball, 1-1. In a situation like this with 2 outs, Von Hayes is not likely to be stealing third base. I think sometimes when the second baseman or the shortstop get too preoccupied with the guy at second, they're not in their position like they should be. That's a habit that Keith Miller has at second base, trying to bounce that guy back. Now he's all right. Swing and a miss by Hayes. 1-2. Obviously, you want that infield to be as back as far as they can be right now. Try to knock the ball down, keep it in the infield. So even if they would get a base hit on the ground, that runner would not score. You see the Met defense very deep. Ground ball is short. Elster, long throw in the dirt. Magadan has it. Good play by Dave Magadan at first base. Gets the Mets out of a little bit of a jam. The Phillies do get a couple of hits, but they strand both guys. They still lead this game 1-0. Top of the 5th inning. Dave Magadan to face Ken Howell. Mets trailing in this game 1-0. Howell has been just really a changed pitcher since he's come here to Philadelphia. 9-7 record. Of late, he's pitched very well his last time out. He shut out the Cardinals 6-0. Lifetime a 27-36 pitcher. Actually, I said the Cardinals. It was the Chicago Cubs that he shut out. Magadan hit a hard ground ball to Ricky Jordan at first base last time up for an out. Bunts down the third base line, but foul. Good thinking. Charlie Hayes way back, leading off an inning Down by a run. That's not a bad move, Ralph.
It's a good move, and also that was a good bunt. You might say, why was it a good bunt? It was foul. But when you're bunting for a base hit, it's either got to be a perfect bunt or foul. You don't want to bunt it out the pitcher and get thrown out. So he tried to make it a perfect bunt, but just didn't miss.
The fans reacting to something here. I'm not sure what it is. We have a massive boo going. Magadan takes the ball, 1-1. Oh, it was the Mets fans were screaming, "Let's go Mets," and the Phillies tried to drown them out with the boos. Can hardly hear that with these earphones on. Magadan takes ball 2. Lots of New York Met fans here in the stadium. That happens all the time here at the Vet.
I don't know how they got here because you can't get here in the New Jersey Turnpike.
Boy, it was tough today.
Woo.
Magadan takes a tough pitch for strike 2. Good 3 hours and 20 minutes from New York.
There's a brave Mets fan.
Boy, he is. Uniform top. He's up high, so not too many people can throw things at him. Ground ball again. Ricky Jordan picks it up, tosses to Howe, and that's it for Magadan. 1 out.
There hasn't been an out made in the air off of Howell, so you can see the movement on his pitching is always down, and the Mets have been grounding that ball into the ground.
Brings up Barry Lyons, who walked his first time up. Not a lot of activity in this game. The Mets, no hits, no runs, no errors. The Phillies, 1 run on 3 hits. Ground ball, foul out of play. Pretty impressive back-to-back starts here by Howe. 13 consecutive shutout innings. Lyons takes a good slider on the outside corner for strike 2. Very a modest 4-game hitting streak. Swings at a pitch off the plate that time. Howe really mixing his pitches up well.
Well, his 4th strikeout. That ball didn't even start in the strike zone. Lyons struck out, and that'll bring up Kevin Elster, his 3rd strikeout victim.
Still no hits for the Mets. Top of the 5th inning, 2 down. Elster takes the ball. Elster went down on strikes his first time up.
He did hit one out of the ballpark foul by about 20 feet.
For strike 2.
They don't count, do they?
Nope.
Got to lay off that pitch, and Elster did a good job of doing that.
2 balls, no strikes. Howe, and the last time he was in the situation, threw a breaking ball. There's a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Howe, a good fastball just on an outside corner, Ralph.
Good pitch to take when you have the count your way.
Swing and a miss by Elster, 2-2. Taking a little extra time. I think that's a good move when a pitcher has his rhythm going very good. Very well. Ken Howe. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kevin Elster goes down on strikes. Ken Howe, another good inning. And on the TWA scoreboard, it's the Phillies 1, the Mets nothing.
Well, Mets fans, here's your chance to win a trip to spring training or 4 tickets to a luxury skybox at Shea. Just visit a participating Texaco station in New York or Connecticut and fill out an entry form today. You'll also receive a colorful decal free. Act soon. The contest ends September 15th.
Davey Johnson talking to Eric Gregg. We have no idea what this conversation's about, but it's been going on a while.
He might be saying that Hal's doing something to the ball. There have been some funny acting pitches out there.
Yowza. It's a pretty good statement, Ralph. You might be right on with that one. There, that's the reason. Mark Carrion going in the left field for Kevin McReynolds. So maybe McReynolds hurt himself. We'll try to get a report on that for you. I'm sure Jay Horowitz will get that information to us as soon as he can. There's Davey. Buddy Harrelson next to him.
And there are some of the Philadelphia Phillies masterminds. Up in the right-hand corner is Lee Thomas, who is the general manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. Dave Cash on the left lower corner of your screen. Dale Unser right there in the middle. You can't really see Dale.
The guy in the far back on the left is Bill Giles, who is one of the owners here for the Philadelphia Phillies.
And president of the club.
He's been running this club for a long time now.
And his father was a president of the National League, Warren Giles, for many, many years.
Jim Fregosi, the ex-Met, was here. They had a lot of meetings of all their minor league people discussing instructional league and which players should go there. Phillies building toward the future. Good breaking ball for a strike. We have Jay Horowitz in here now. I guess Ralph's going to get this information on McReynolds. There's a ball down and in.
We understand now that the reason why Kevin McReynolds left the ball game, his wife called, or someone called for his wife, that she was going into labor, and he is now going back to New York. She was expecting in a couple of weeks, but maybe a little bit premature.
Ball and 2 strikes. That's something new in baseball.
That might have been the call Davey was talking about when we got a shot of him on the telephone.
Ground ball to third. Howard Johnson up with it. Long throw. Got him. 1 down. As I was saying, that's something that was unheard of years ago. A lot of wives of ball players didn't have the company of their husband when they had those babies.
You're absolutely right, Rusty. They didn't allow any of that. There you see Lenny Dykstra's wife, who just did have a baby. In fact, I think she was due about the time that he was traded, and she might have had that baby just about a day after he got here with Philadelphia. But the Phillies were playing in New York at the time.
Fly ball, not too deep to Strawberry, standing right there. 2 down. Yeah, both Juan Samuel and Lenny Dykstra traded for each other. Their wives had children within a couple of days of each other. That's got to be a stupid stat somewhere. There's the new Dykstra. Ball hit up in the air down the right field line, but out of play. Ken Howell only 4 hits in 43 at-bats. He has finessed an RBI. Speaking of finesse, there's Lenny Dykstra, the crowd pop.
I wonder how you can get away with wearing that other color undershirt. You're supposed to be in the same uniform.
Ball down and away. You're right. It should be a red T-shirt, undergarment.
Not that it gives you any advantage or anything, but the rules do say you have to wear the same type of uniform.
Big swing and a miss by Howell. It's probably his good luck shirt. He wore that shirt. He had a 14-game hitting streak. Probably put that shirt on to get it going again. Again, Howell, a pretty weak hack at a pitch from Viola. A ball and 2 strikes. Now, the Met outfield is extremely deep. The way Ken Howell is hacking at this, I just can't believe it. Another ball. I mean, if he's going to get a hit, normally it's going to be a flare. They should be playing him way over to right field and in.
Strawberry's in a little bit. He hasn't been as deep as he normally is.
Another ball, a full count. Viola doesn't want to walk Howell, unless he wants to try to tire him out on the bases. Trick play. A high fly ball to center field. Samuel comes in. That's going to do it for the Phillies here. Bottom of the 5th inning, but they're still ahead 1-0. Well, there's the young Dykstra feeding right now as we watch the Philly fanatic take off down the first baseline. He is a good addition to the game here at the Vet. He's down at the 3rd baseline, running over a Met hat. There's Lenny. Sam Palazzo picked the hat up and protected the dignity of the Met hat. He tried to run him over with the 4-wheeler. Lenny Dykstra trying to get himself in stead here and play center field. There's Sam. Viola lead it off. Top of the 6th inning. Dykstra playing in center field with Viola. Kruk in a little bit for him because he really plays deep too. Ground ball to 3rd. Hayes up with it over to 1st. Quick out. Miller in the on-deck circle, wasting some time to let Viola get into the dugout. It's a good move on his part. Let's see if he don't get in there too quick. He has to remember that Frank Viola hit the first pitch in this inning. We'll see if he swings at this first one. No, he doesn't. Takes a strike on a breaking ball. Turn around, a little bunt attempt, pulls back. 1-1. Again, some boos emanating from the crowd as the Let's Go Mets cheer comes from the Vet. All just outside. Howell wanted that pitch. Wants this ball away. It's not a strike though. 3-1. Philly starters this year have had a rough year. Their record is 29-52. Their bullpen 15-14. There he gets a strike. On a 3-1 count, he hits the black. Full count now. Line drive, base hit to left field. The Mets get their first hit of the ball game. Phillies fans giving a little round of applause to Howell. A no-hitter through 5.
Might have had the no-hitter still going. The pitch before this one was called a strike, but it was low. So he came back on the 3-2 count with a fastball that Miller was waiting for, and he lined it to left field for the base hit. There's the 3-2 pitch.
Boy, that was a good pitch to hit. again, a lot of "Let's go Mets" cheering going and being drowned out by the boos. Miller diving back into first base.
This is the city of brotherly love, too.
Unless you're cheering against their team. Fouled straight back by Juan Samuel. It's got to be an emotional night for Juan Samuel. Such a fine player for so many years for the Phillies. Playing his first game in a Met uniform back at the Vet. Makes the adrenaline flow come easy. Ground ball at third. Hayes up with it to second. He drops the ball, but they call him out. John Kibler says he had possession.
Look at it again. Did he have possession and was in the act of throwing? He comes over and takes the throw, and that ball was never in possession. It came out of his glove before, as he was going into his throwing motion. Right here, watch it. It falls out of his glove, and he wasn't throwing.
It's a tough call for the umpire. He was in the motion of throwing, but I think you might be right, Ralph. He never had it in his hand. It just slipped out.
In the transfer.
Howard Johnson up. Pitch out. Lake looking in the dugout. Nick Leyva, or one of his coaches, calling the pitch outs.
I'm amazed they would pitch out in the first pitch to Howard Johnson and get behind to Howard. Howard's not going to be a hit and run man. He's got that power. Now he's behind.
Throw over the first. Sammy back. Sometimes you get a little lost in what's happening in the ball game. Your pitcher's doing a heck of a job. Sometimes it's better to leave it in his hands. Samuel has that right foot on the turf. Ball 2.
And that's what we were trying to point out. You get behind Howard Johnson, and as well as he is hitting now, he can sit on a pitch, a fastball, or even anything else. He's got the advantage when he's got that count in his favor. Don't necessarily have to sit on a fastball. You can sit on something else.
Takes a big swing. Strike one. One of the things Howard's done much better this year on the 2-0, 3-1 counts. He has not been overswinging. That might have been a little bit of an overswing. Those are the counts where if it is a good pitch to hit, you don't want to miss it. You want to make a good move on the ball. When you're overswinging, you're not putting a good move on the ball. Got to get that bat head out. Another throw to first base. Two balls and a strike to Howard Johnson. 2 down. Line drive. Actually, it jammed him. Ball left the bat real well, but Howard didn't hit it on the fat spot. Von Hayes has it for the out. After 5.5 innings, the Mets still trail 1-0.
You be the umpire. Here's the play. Did Herr have possession of the ball and was in the act of throwing when this ball came out? He isn't even in the act of throwing. He never had possession of the ball. As he was going into the glove, he never had it in the bare hand, and Kibler said he did. Of course, he doesn't have the advantage of the slow motion replay. Tough call for Kibler, and it's what they call the rubber of the green.
Tell you, John Kibler's a good umpire.
Yes, he is.
Standing behind Keith Miller. Lenny Dykstra. Ground ball is short. Elster up with it. Over to first. He's got Dykstra. One down. Kevin Elster awfully smooth at shortstop. He's going to be some player for a long time. Starting to get the confidence he needs at the plate.
Well, he gave up that trying to hit the right field stuff, which can make you messed up as much as anything.
If you go about it the wrong way, it certainly will, Ralph.
He was just trying to put the bat in the ball, and he's a strong kid. If you go at it with a good swing and pull the inside pitch and hit the other pitch the other way, that's different.
You get caught up in doing just one thing and trying to guide the bat and guide the ball. It takes some pretty weak hacks. Actually, in spring training, he did it very well. But once the season started, he really stopped being aggressive. Tommy Herr, one down. Base hit up the middle. The good hitters will do that to Viola. So many off-speed pitches. If you try to get out front of him, he's usually going to get you out. Back through the middle, you got a chance. Brings up Von Hayes. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Singled his last time up.
Right fielder Von Hayes.
Tommy Herr, a very good base stealer. He has a very high percentage of success.
There he goes. Here's a throw by Lyons. Not this time.
Well, that was a gun down there by Lyons, who has really shown he can throw.
That was a hit and run. Von Hayes missed.
There goes the runner, and Hayes swings and misses. You could see her looking at the play, and now he's a dead duck. So that wasn't a stolen base attempt. That was a hit and run play that didn't work.
Manager Nick Leva trying to get something going. He did. He got her going back to the dugout because Von Hayes did not make any contact. Good throw by Barry Lyons. Big curveball, strike 2. What did they call that first pitch? A ball?
I think they call it a ball.
1-1.
When you watch Viola pitch, you think of Bob Ojeda. They pitch very much alike.
Another slow curveball. 2 balls and a strike. Fouled off, out of play. We'd like to remind you that Thursday at 5 o'clock, it'll be a doubleheader at Shea. The St. Louis Cardinals against the New York Mets. It'll be live and exclusive right here on Sports Channel. And don't forget the pregame show, Mets on Deck with Fran Healy. That'll start at 4:45. 2-2, 2 outs to Von Hayes. Ground ball, foul at first. Von Hayes got off to one of the finest starts in the big leagues this year. He was in the league lead in so many different categories for the first 2 months. Has really tapered off. A lot of trades done by the Phillies. Retirement of Mike Schmidt. The combination of all those events. Phillies have been playing 500 ball for about the last 30-40 days. Off-speed pitch, fouled, out of play. There was a lot of conversation about the joylessness in the Philadelphia clubhouse since the trades and the retirement of Mike Schmidt. Not to say anything about Mike Schmidt, but there seems to be a lot more freedom when you get some characters like Dykstra and McDowell in there. John Kruk, that's 3 pretty lively guys. Phillies have reacted well to all that. Off-speed pitch, ground ball, base hit to right. That was a little too soft and a little too high.
stays back and is able to adjust to hit the ball to right field for the base hit. 5th hit given up by Viola. Now runner at first with 2 men out.
Ricky Jordan, the hitter, 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. Von Hayes, 21 stolen bases, has that foot on the turf. Ground ball, foul at third. Hayes seems to be favoring his right knee a little bit. Saw him skip right there. Ball 1, 1-1. This is the time when the outfield should all be deep. You don't want a long double to score that run. That's an easy call for the Met outfield. Jordan takes ball 2. Boa giving the signs. They're going to be aggressive. No better time than right here. There he goes. Ball in the dirt, no chance. And a stolen base for Von Hayes. You could almost see Von Hayes being a little more aggressive. It wasn't that he took that much more of a lead, but it was his approach to taking that lead that showed that he probably was running.
Well, Von Hayes gets his 211th career stolen base as he doesn't have to slide. The ball bouncing away. The pitch down in the dirt. Von Hayes now with 22 on this year and 29 attempts. Phillies are 9th in the league in stolen bases.
Off-speed pitch, strike 2, full count. Von Hayes, as you noticed if you were watching there, did not check the plate, did not know what went on at the plate. That's why he dove into second base, not realizing the ball was in the dirt. Ball 4 for Ricky Jordan. Now on first and second now, 2 down. It's going to bring up John Kruk.
That was about a intentional walk as it could be right there, because he's got the left-hander coming up. Jordan, of course, has some power. And that's his first walk in the game.
I agree, Ralph. That was a pitch around him. Samuel shading a little bit to left center. Surprised the Mets aren't further over than that. Now he's moving a little bit. There they go. Strike on the outside corner. Ricky Jordan at first taking an incredible lead. Magadan moving it a little bit now. He was way back and deep. Ricky Jordan getting way off the bag. Magadan trying to give him a little bit of a move there. Line drive to left. Carry on right there. Makes the play. John Kruk with 2 men on hits a rope to left, but it does no good. The Phillies still lead 1-0. All right, back at the vet. The Mets trailing 1-0. I'm going to turn this over to Fran Healy for the play-by-play.
Okay, Rusty, and a one-hitter. How about that?
Not bad.
Mets got to score some runs. Ralph Kiner putting on his jacket behind us. Ralph will take a couple innings to relax. He's got the cigar, the victory cigar, I'm sure, like Red Auerbach. And Ken Howell has to be happy. Pitching a fine ball game. Got a one-hitter. And leading off for the Mets here in the 7th inning Darryl Strawberry. He'll be followed by Mark Carrion and then Dave Magadan. 1-0 Phillies on top of the Mets. First pitch is bounced to home, ball 1. Keep in mind these same two teams meet tomorrow night here at the Vet. And then Wednesday afternoon, after that ball game, the Mets will head back home, open up homestand against the Cardinals on Thursday, a double dip. There's a strike, 1-1. Nice crowd on hand here at the Vet. A lot of people coming down from New York. Fans really helping out the Mets over the weekend against the Expos. Up high, 2-1. We'll look at the crowd. Half of them from Philly and half from New York. Strawberry hits a big league pop-up. Lake is over by the dugout, and great play. Outstanding play. That's a big out when you can catch a ball off Strawberry's bat. 1 down.
What a play by Steve Lake. Over at the opposing club's dugout. Was not going to get any help at all. Reaches in. He's got it.
We got to teach the cameraman to swing that camera and push the opposition away. What's going on? Don't get the camera out of his way. 1 man down. And the batter now, Mark Carrion. There's a strike.
Lake has always been a defensive catcher. And this year, he has thrown out 50% of the runners that have tried to steal on him. That is
unbelievable.
An incredible percentage for baseball in the 80s.
Yeah, you cannot get a catcher to throw out 50%. Santiago doesn't throw out 50%. He's considered the best throwing catcher in the National League. The 0-1 pitch to Carrion. There's a strike. But Howell has a good fastball and a good breaking ball and throwing strikes all night.
This is Mark Carrion's first at bat since he replaced Kevin McReynolds.
Outside, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes on Mark Carrion. Strike 3. Boy, Howell has nasty stuff tonight.
That slider's been an incredible pitch for him. Let's take a look at this swing. Out of the strike zone, he tries to hole up, but could not do it. Remember that Ken Howell pitched a shutout his last game. He's in the top of the 7th inning right now. That's 15+ innings of shutout ball.
7 strikeouts in tonight's ball game. And the batter, Dave Magadan, he takes a strike. The key to Howell's success tonight is just what he did to Dave Magadan. He got the first pitch over for a strike. And there's a base hit, second hit of the game for the Mets. The Mets have to get something going. They played great ball over the weekend, taking 3 straight from Montreal, but they trail here at the Vet, 1-0.
Everybody in New York was talking about the possible letdown that could take place, having such a big series in New York coming here to the Vet. But I don't think it's a letdown as much as it is outstanding pitching on the part of Ken Howell.
Grab that mic.
Tough to have a letdown with Viola pitching for the Mets as Barry Lyons steps in.
But the Mets' attitude before this game was very good.
Yeah. And Lyons hit the fly ball to deep left field, but Crook has room and makes the catch for out number 3. So the Mets go down here in the top of the 7th inning. They strand a runner, Dave Magadan, on first base. After 6.5, it's been all Ken Howell. 1-0 Phillies.
Mets Baseball is brought to you in part by The Wiz. Remember, for anything in home entertainment, nobody beats The Wiz. By Metropolitan Life and affiliated companies. Get Met. It pays. And by Meineke Mufflers. You're not going to pay a lot at Meineke.
Well, let's take a look at the Wiz scoreboard in the National League. The Cardinals and the Pirates, 6.5 innings. It's 4-0. The Cardinals on top of the Buccos. After 4 in Chicago, it's 3-1. The Cubs on top of Montreal. Houston at San Diego, Cincinnati at San Francisco, Atlanta and LA later on. In the American League, Texas at Toronto, the Blue Jays nipping the Rangers 2-1. Final score from Detroit, Tigers 5, Milwaukee 3. And at the Bronx, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, the Yankees have scored 5 runs. Cleveland being shut out by the Yankees 5-0 after 7. It's all tied 2 apiece. Detroit and Milwaukee, by the way, in that second game in Detroit. Minnesota at Baltimore, it's all tied at 2. Boston 2, Kansas City nothing after 2.5, and Oakland at Seattle later on. But all the eyes of Met fans are on the vet. Charlie Hayes, the batter. He's 0 for 2. The count is no balls and 1 strike.
In that 0 for 2, though, he has driven in the only run of the ball game. Mets making a decision early in the game to play the infield back. A ground ball to shortstop scored the run.
Hayes will be followed by Dickie Thon and then Steve Lake. Frank Viola throws inside, 1-1.
Remember, the big thing that Viola was disappointed with in Minnesota was the lack of runs that was scored. First game in St. Louis seemed to be the same way. See a ball taken there. But in that game, the Mets came back and won it for Viola. Not a lot of runs scored right now either. None.
And Frank's got a 5-hitter going. He's allowed 1 run. 2-1 pitches fouled out of play. 2-2. Look at nice fluid motion, comes right at the hitter. Very impressive pitcher. Pitch. Good pitch. Strike 3. As they say, take a hike. 1 down.
It's number 7 for Viola. Comes in with a fastball inside. Catches that inside corner. Charlie Hayes didn't like it. That was a good strike. That was a pretty good acting job by Hayes trying to get the ball called.
Hayes knew it was a strike. So number 8 is in the dugout. And number 21 is the batter. Dickie Thon takes outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Fouled out of play. So how about Cataray at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx? His no-hitter was broken up by Brooke Jacoby, who singled in the 8th inning. Strike 2, 1-2. One and 2 on Dickie Thon. Swing on a miss. Strike 3, 8th strikeout for Frank Viola. He's pitching a good ball game. We're in the midst of a pitcher's duel here at the vet.
It's been a great one. Viola got one stretch where he struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 7 batters. Getting back in that mode. 2 in a row.
The batter, Steve Lake, takes down low, ball 1. Lake 0 for 2 in this ball game. So a no-hitter broken up in New York. Well, a lot of flirting this year with no-hitters. Cataray broken up by Jacoby. How about Steve the other day? There's a long drive, left field. Carry-on's back. Makes the catch. So Steve Lake giving the Philly fans a thrill here at the vet. But the Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the 7th. We've played 7, and it's 1-0 Philadelphia.
Thursday, catch twice the Mets action at Shea when Howard Johnson and company collide with the St. Louis Cardinals in a twilight doubleheader. It's a crucial double bill for the Mets as they race for the pennant. The Mets battle the Cards Thursday at 5, live and exclusive on Sports Channel.
Frank Viola will not pitch next inning because Greg Jeffries has a bat in his hand. Kevin Elster will lead it off. He'll be followed by Jeffries, who will pinch hit for Frank Viola, and then Keith Miller. 1-0 as we go to the top of the 8th inning.
Almost the same situation as it was in St. Louis when the Mets pinch hit for Viola and scored some runs. They'd like to see that again, obviously.
Batting for New York, shortstop Kevin Elster.
Oh, Frank got the win in that ball game.
Yes, he did.
He'll take it every time. He's pitched a good game. He's allowed only 1 run on 5 hits. Jeff Musselman throwing in the Met bullpen. But it's offense the Mets need. They only have 2 hits. Kevin Elster leading off has K'd twice. The breaking ball misses down low, ball 1. Pitch, swung and missed, 1-1. You know, I mentioned that game in the Bronx, the Indians and the Yankees. Do you know that Ralph Kiner only signed 1 player, and it was Doc Edwards, who's the manager of the Cleveland Indians?
Is that right?
Yeah.
So Ralph, general manager a couple of years out in San Diego.
Line drive, great play. Dickie Thon takes a base hit, possibly a double away from Kevin Elster.
They say it's a game of inches. It is here. Just a rope hit by Kevin Elster. A big leap by Dickie Thon, and just catches that ball in the webbing. Boy, he got off the ground very well.
What a comeback for number 21. Well, Greg Jeffries, the batter, while we were showing you that replay, Steve Lake was out talking to Ken Howell about Greg Jeffries. Fastball for a strike.
Jeffries 1 for 5 in his pinch hitting appearances.
Swung on and missed. 0-2. 1 man down here in the top of the 8th inning. 1-0. Phil's on top of the Mets. Frank Viola. Need some runs here. Frank's going to win this ball game because he's out of the game. There's that slider. It's blocked by Steve Lake. 1-2.
That ball was about a 58-foot pitch. The thing hit about 1.5 feet in front of home plate.
Problem with that is the catcher knows it's coming and he's got to block it because of the 2 strikes. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. And we'll get another pinch hitter.
Here's a look at it. Ball just bottom dropping out of it. Ken Howell, what a difference a year made in his career. Keith Hernandez coming up to hit now for Keith Miller. Hernandez has done a pretty good job as a pinch hitter. Two for 7, but he's hit the ball hard a couple of other times. He's had a couple of big hits. A 2-run single in the Cub game against Mitch Williams. And then he started the rally the other night with a double in the left center.
How about Howell? He's playing soft toss with Charlie Hayes, third baseman, waiting for Keith Hernandez to come to the plate. Keith has a great stroke for a pinch hitter. Short, compact, contact hitter. 2 men down.
Phillies really guarding the line at first base, not so much at third.
Ball 1. By the way, Keith Hernandez ran the bases before batting practice today, and they'll wait till tomorrow to decide whether or not to play him. He said it feels pretty good. 1-0 pitch. Good pitch right there. 1-1.
He kind of pulled his head off that pitch. You're trying to be aggressive when you come off the bench. You got to watch the ball. One and one on Hernandez.
pulls it down the line, but foul. 1-2. 2 men down here at the vet. Top of the 8th inning, 1-0. Phillies on top of the Mets. Only 7 hits in this game. 5 hits for the Phils, 2 for the Mets. Frank Viola out of the game. Pitched a good ball game. Only allowed 1 run on those 5 hits. And the 1-2 pitch. Down low. 2-2. Keith Hernandez pinch hitting for Keith Miller. Keith Miller with one of the 2 hits in this game for the Mets.
Still a good move by Davey Johnson, putting all the pressure on Ken Howell that he can.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Well, Mets fans, this break in the action is a good time for you to break open an ice cold Budweiser and enjoy that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Steve Lake flashing signs for Ken Howell. And the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So that'll do it for the Mets. Here in the 8th inning, they have one more chance, but the Phils will bat in the bottom of the 8th, and they have a 1-0 lead.
The pitch by Stanley, and a ground ball trickling. It is a fair ball. Picked by Buckner. Rounding third night. The Mets will win the ball game. The Mets win.
Yes, Game 6 of the '86 World Series was truly a magical moment. And on Thursday, August 10th, when the Mets play a doubleheader against the Cardinals, all fans will receive a 21 by 36-inch poster of that unforgettable play, courtesy of Pergament. Call 718-507-TIXX for more information.
Fans, have you ever wanted to take pictures from the Mets photo box and or shoot batting practice from the field? Then enter your favorite Mets picture in the Kodak Mets photo contest. Semi-final winners will be selected from each of these 4 categories: the Mets fan, Shea Stadium, Mets memorabilia, and the view from the upper deck. Their pictures will appear in the 1990 Mets yearbook. Plus, the grand prize winner will be named the official Kodak Mets photographer for a day. Look for details where Kodak film and batteries are sold, and enter today.
Well, Greg Jeffrey stays in the ball game at second base. He'll bat 9th. And Jeff Musselman, the new pitcher.
Musselman 1-1 on the year, 1.80 earned run average. This is his 3rd game. He's pitched 5 innings, given up 5 hits. He's walked 3 and struck out nobody. Opposition hitting .278 in his brief appearances.
Well, Ken Howell getting a nice ovation here at the vet, and he's pitched a masterpiece. If you're looking towards the 9th inning, the Mets will have Juan Samuel, Howard Johnson, and Darryl Strawberry as the batters. Howell takes a strike from Jeff Musselman. 0-1. 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors for the Phillies. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for the Mets. Swung on and fouled off. 0-2. Second game of this 3-game series tomorrow night here at the vet. Then Wednesday afternoon will be the finale, and then back to New York for a doubleheader against the Cardinals on Thursday. The Cardinals in for a 5-game series. Tickets still available at Shea. I bet they'll have some big crowds for that series.
You can bet on it.
Fouled off, so the count remains 0-2.
If this score remains 1-0, one of the toughest things for a manager is in the first inning you make a decision to let your infield play deep, give up a run so you can stop this from being a big scoring game. And if it comes back to haunt you, it's not a bad decision, but you'll think about that.
Boy, that's a drive to center field. Samuel will play it off the wall. Howell heading for second, and he'll hold on there. So Ken Howell doing it all. Pitching and hitting.
That's only his 5th hit on the year, and this is his night. I mean, he really hits this ball. A guy who doesn't make much contact gets it on the ball, hits it over Samuel's head. He's thinking about triple, and then says, good thought.
Well, Howell's on second base. And Lenny Dykstra will be the batter. Larry Boa talking to Lenny Dykstra. No mix-up there. He's going down to tell him exactly what Nick Leyba wants him to do. You see your old buddy Jim Pagosi in the ballpark tonight. Possibility that he'll join the Phillies as the farm director?
I'm not sure. He's really a special assignment guy right now for the Phillies. Lee Thomas and Jimmy have known each other a long time. He's filling a lot of roles for Lee Thomas right now.
Lee Thomas is the farm director in St. Louis when Jim Pagosi managed the Louisville ball club. Lenny Dykstra taking on Jeff Musselman. He squares the bunt. He does. Pops the ball up. They go to second for the double play. Unable to do it, but a big break right there.
Dykstra disappointed in himself, and rightly so. Turns around the bunt, pops the ball up. It's a breaking ball. There's a new theory on the bunting situations. They always say it's tougher. Howell really not a good base runner. He hasn't been out there very much in his life. More and more teams are going to the breaking ball because it's a tough pitch to bunt and keep down on the ground. They say it spins to go to the ground, but it's surprising how many people can't bunt the breaking ball.
Well, there's one out because of the breaking ball, and Tommy Herr, the batter. He takes a strike. Herr is 1 for 3 in this game. He's also caught stealing. He had a fine career with the Cardinals. Ended up in Minnesota. Played with Frank Viola last year. But kind of forced to trade because he makes his home in Pennsylvania. Wanted to get closer to home. The 0-1 pitch. Down low. 1-1. Mentioned earlier, Tommy Herr driving in 110 runs as a second baseman.
That was his one big year with RBIs. He's never come close to that before or since.
From Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Born and brought up there, still resides in Lancaster.
He's a good, steady player.
And the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses outside. 2-1.
Jeff Innes warming in the bullpen for the Mets. It was under the tutelage of Greg Pavlik, who's the assistant pitching coach to Mel Stottlemyre.
2-1 on Tommy Herr. Infield back, outfield in. Breaking ball for a strike. 2-2. Take a look at the defense.
Mid outfield should be putting themselves in a position really to throw the pitcher out at the plate. He's not a good base runner. He doesn't have real base running sense. I just think they should be more aggressive in this situation in the outfield and give themselves an opportunity to throw him out.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off. No, swung on and missed. Nice play by Barry Lyon. The ball popped out of his glove. He jumped on the ball and tagged her out. Did not have to make the throw to first.
That was a good aggressive play by Lyons. Watch it. He's going to almost knock her down. Tell you what, a pulling guard couldn't have done better.
A lot of times,
moved him right out of the play.
You have to keep in mind, a lot of times the hitter in a situation like this is mad at himself, and he doesn't realize you dropped the ball, so you can pick it up and tag him. Stay away from throwing that ball to first base. 2 out. The batter now, Von Hayes. Von Hayes with 2 hits in this game. Third ball misses down low. 1-0.
Hayes got a base hit off a breaking ball from Viola. Viola threw him 3 back-to-back curveballs, and he got the last one.
Viola and Hayes have something in common. Both guys were traded for 5 players. Foul off and into the crowd down the left field line. 1-1. One of the guys in the trade sending Von Hayes to Philadelphia is still playing and playing well, but not with Cleveland where he was traded. He's with the Texas Rangers, Julio Franklin.
He has really turned into a tremendous offensive player. He's always had good range and a great throwing arm.
One and one on Von Hayes. Down low. Hayes joined the Phillies in the 1982 trade. Mini trio George Vukovich, Julio Franco, Jay Ballard, and Jerry Willard going to Cleveland for number 9, Von Hayes. Fastball, ground ball, second base, Greg Jeffries, Kamagadan, and that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 8th. But stay with us, Mets last chance after 8. They trail the Phillies 1-0.
Now you can win with the Mets. Each time you use your Mets MasterCard from Manufacturers Hanover Trust, you get another entry to the Mets MasterCard sweepstakes. And each month there's a powerful lineup of great Mets prizes that you can win. So if you've got the card, use it. If you don't, apply now. Hey, who knows more about winning with the Mets than me? The Mets MasterCard from Manufacturers Hanover. To apply, call 1-800-MHT-METS. Anytime.
Ken Howell taking his warm-up tosses. When he's set, he'll face Juan Samuel, Howard Johnson, and then Darryl Strawberry. Top of the 9th inning, last chance for the Mets.
17 consecutive innings now. No runs given up by Ken Howell. Might even be longer than that. We do know he pitched his shutout his last game in Chicago. Roger McDowell warming just in case they need him.
Up until yesterday, Roger's been hitless.
Roger wearing number 13 now.
He's been tough to hit since joining the Phillies. He really turned it around. But yesterday in St. Louis, he gave up a home run to Terry Pendleton.
Roger gave up no earned runs in the first 20 games he appeared in for the Phillies. In the 16 save opportunities he's had, he's been successful in 13 of them, 4 of those being with the Mets, 4 out of 5 with the Mets.
Well, you saw the sign, 35,000 plus here tonight. Ron Darling along with Dave Cohn and Bobby Ojeda watching this ball game. It's been a good ball game. 1-0, the Phillies on top of the Mets. 6 hits for the Phils, 2 for the Mets. No errors in this game. This guy was very popular with his teammates here in Philadelphia, Juan Samuel. Time is called. Howell was winding up and heading to the plate, and Samuel was not ready.
Did the only appropriate thing. Get out of there. Put your hand up.
Fouled off. Eric Gregg taking that ball on the mask. That does shake you up. Umpires usually come out, flip the ball to the pitcher, and then clean off home plate.
There it is. Straight back, just over the catcher's protective gear. And boy, he gives a jolt to Eric Gregg. Check your molars on that one.
0-1. 1-1. Breaking ball missing down low.
The guy who got hit behind the plate more than anybody I'd ever seen, it used to be something they kidded around, was Ed Sudol.
Oh, sure. Swung on and missed. 1-2.
Ed was a big, tall umpire. Guys in the dugouts used to have some fun guessing which inning Ed Sudol was going to get hit.
The 1-2 pitch. Popped up but out of play. Seems like Howell has been keeping the Met batters off balance all night. Either swinging or missing or hitting the ball off the end of the bat or getting jammed. It's pitched very well. Swung on and missed, pitch right there. That's a good pitcher's pitch. 1 down.
Number 9 on a good slider. The majority of his strikeouts have been on this pitch right here. Good slider breaking down and away.
When a guy's throwing like this and he's right-handed, you'll hear the right-handers in the dugout tell the left-handers, you got to get him. Well, there's 1 out and 2 left-handed batters now. Howard Johnson will be followed by Darryl Strawberry.
All 3 of these batters have been swinging the bats very well.
Drive down the right field line, but foul. Howard Johnson hitting the ball off the end of the bat. Strike 1. 0-1 on Hojo as the drama builds here at the vet.
There'll be some people who will talk about this being a letdown game for the Mets because they have not gotten but 2 hits so far. If it ends this way, I don't really believe that. As I said earlier, I just think it's a lot of credit to Ken Howell. The Mets had a real good mental frame of mind coming into this game.
Foul out of play. 0-2. All you have to do is look at that last pitch to Juan Samuel. That's not a letdown. That's a pitcher's pitch. And Howell's been throwing them all night.
Boy, he has.
The 0-2 pitch just misses outside. 1-2.
In the time after all the changes in this last 38 games they've played, the Philly pitching staff has had a 2.83 earned run average, and that's why they've been playing 500 or better from that time.
Well, they have not stood still here in Philadelphia. A lot of changes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Staying alive.
The new GM, Lee Thomas, putting a lot of new faces in those Philly uniforms. Done a good job.
Yeah. Nick Leva, the manager. And Davey Johnson looking on. One-two pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. Ken Howell has dominated the Mets tonight.
10th strikeout. This is the pitch that's really been effective for him. It's like the bottom falls out of it. That's an interesting pitch. When he throws his good slider, it breaks down and into the left-handed hitters. That ball breaking down and away has almost the appearance of what used to be called the greaser.
That's right. The old Gaylord Perry pitch.
That's exactly how it moves. He's been very effective with it.
What the Mets need right now is a mistake fly ball off the bat of Darryl Strawberry that clears the left field wall. Howell has been nasty tonight. He has dominated the Met batters. He's only allowed 2 hits. Oh, a strike called. 0-1. Darryl with the new look, rolling up his sleeves. The 0-1 pitch. Misses outside. 1-1. Strawberry in tonight's game 0 for 2. He's also walked.
And I'll tell you what, after that first pitch being called a strike, you got to be aggressive up there right now.
Misses down low. 2-1.
You get 2 strikes on you. You really have to move up and in, I think, on the plate and challenge the guy, make him try to get you out, other than with that good fastball, that sinking fastball down and away. He's trying again for it. That's 3 in a row after that opening strike.
3-1 right now. Looks to me like he does not want to make a mistake on Strawberry. Although they'd be putting the tying run on base, I think he'd rather pitch to the right-handed swinging Mark Carrion. Down low, ball 4. He wasn't close, Rusty. Even the first pitch was a ball. Now, Steve Lake, after they struck out Howard Johnson, went out to talk to Howell. The first pitch was a ball, then he threw 4 more.
Yeah, he got a good call on the first pitch by umpire Eric Gregg that got him ahead in the count. Then he said, Strawberry, you are not going to beat me with a dinger.
Not a bad idea unless it backfires. Then it's a bad idea. We've seen Mark Carrion hit the ball over the wall. 2 men out here in the 9th. Mets' last chance. Howell misses down low, ball 1.
Here comes Darrell Knowles out of the dugout just to talk to his pitcher. McDowell's ready in the bullpen. Knowles going out just to see how he feels.
Well, he's really thrown 6 consecutive balls. If you go back into the dugout, what'll happen is he'll throw another one. Do you come out and get him? Or do you let him pitch to this batter?
I would let him pitch to this batter. You've already made that decision. He's given up 2 hits. He's in the 9th. This is his ball game. Trying to build up the character. It's not like the Phillies are going for the pennant right now.
There's a strike. 1-1. Whatever Knowles told him, it worked.
Now, if he lets Carrion get on, then I would take him out of the ball game. But I'll give him a chance to do it right here. You want him to finish his own ball game if he can in this situation.
Right up the middle. Base hit. Strawberry's going to third. Runners on first and third. 2 men out. Top of the 9th. And Dave Magadan, the batter.
Well, I think you're going to see a manager come out of the dugout here. We'll find out in a minute. Strawberry was almost going to be very conservative at second base, and then he decided to kick it in. It was a good move. No, he's not coming out. He's going to let him pitch his ball game.
Well,
the signs he was giving right there was trying to talk to the catcher about what kind of a play they want to have on if Mark Carrion tries to steal second base. They have different signs telling you whether they want to throw through, throw to the pitcher, throw directly to third base, because that is the go-ahead run, tying run at third.
And as you mentioned, Lake, good throwing catcher. Runners on the corners. 2 men down. It's up to Dave Magadan. Down low, ball 1.
And remember, we told you that Ken Howell leads the league with 17 wild pitches.
Well, what a temptation for Nick Leyva. With that base open on second base, Barry Lyons due up next, right-handed batter. But you'd be putting the winning run on second base. 2-0.
I think Leyva pushed it a little far here. He may get away with it. I mean, Howell's going to try to get Magadan out. He gave him an opportunity to get Carrion.
Two balls and no strikes. Strawberry on third, Carrion on first. Fouled off.
And what better situation to have a great confrontation than for Roger McDowell, an ex-Met, to come into this game. Men on first and third, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. It was a setup.
That's
he
right.
didn't jump on it.
Great theater. 2-1 on Magadan. 3-1, and I'll tell you what, Steve Lake almost closed the glove too soon.
He just saved a tie ball game right there. Let's take a look at that one. We told you a lot of wild pitches by Howe. Boy.
So it's 3 balls, 1 strike. Strawberry on third, Carrion on first. There goes the runner. Steve Lake throws to second base. It goes into center field. I don't believe it. The Mets tie it up. How about that? It's all tied at 1, and listen to this crowd. We're in Philadelphia. What a break for the Mets.
The ever-reliable Steve Lake throws one into center field. It was a gutsy play on the part of Davy Johnson to send Carrion. Now Leiva's coming out. Magadan on first.
So now the Mets have runners still on the corners. And as Mr. Staub said, the script has been written to bring in Roger McDowell.
I think it was one person too late. That's just a personal opinion, obviously. But Ken Howe is going to go out of this game without a victory. And if Roger McDowell doesn't do his job, he could take an L with him after just an outstanding pitching performance by that young man.
Oh, boy, he really did pitch a fine ball game. You know something? To throw to second base, he didn't have to throw the ball.
No, he did not have to throw the ball. Dickie Thon was playing fairly deep.
I'd like to get the camera on Nick Leiva because he must be in shock. Ball 4, Steve Lake came out of the chute. Now, sometimes, as a catcher, you don't hear the call. You come out of the chute and make the throw if they tell you to throw through. Obviously, Steve Lake didn't hear the call. It was ball 4. The bases would have been loaded.
You're right, Fran.
You know something? I've never seen it in a situation like that.
Yes, you have.
No, I'm talking about a crucial situation.
I'm just talking about tonight.
Yeah, first time. How would you like to be him? He's looking at Steve Lake.
Here's the play. Ball 4. Up with the throw. Ball way up on the mud. And part of that might have been because Dickie Thon wasn't at second base for Steve Lake.
You know, Rusty, sometimes when you're catching the ball, they put the sign on, you're going to throw the ball through. You're an aggressive catcher. You've thrown out 50% of the runners. The ball's coming to the plate. It could be Steve Lake did not hear the call. Came out of the chute, made the throw. And what a mistake.
Well, that's a dejected young man sitting on that bench.
Even if Ken Howell and Steve Lake are the best of friends, you got to forgive him if for the moment he doesn't like him. That's an incredible way for the Mets to tie this game up.
You're looking at Roger McDowell, a 2-5 record, a 2.47 earned run average. This is Roger's 47th game in 62 innings. He has given up 2 home runs. He's walked 27 and struck out 26.
What will Don Zimmer, Buck Rogers, and Whitey Herzog say if the Mets come back and win this game?
We got a pinch hitter, too, in Mackie Sasser. Sasser to face McDowell.
Tell you one thing, the Phillies have to feel like somebody punched them all right in the stomach. Boy, he pitched a fine ball game, Ken Howell. And yes, he is talking to himself. A soliloquy in the dugout.
Roger McDowell, a single ball pitcher.
Keep in mind, runners still on the corners. We're all tied at 1. Fastball up high, ball 1. Carrion on third.
Roger McDowell, 3 wild pitches on the season himself.
Magadan on first. 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. Ken Howell. Pitch the masterpiece. Now it's up to Roger McDowell. Mackey Sasser fouls the ball off. 2-1. I can't believe this ball game. Howell looked unhittable, and he was. And the ball game is tied up on a walk that forced a runner from first to second base, and on the walk the ball was thrown away. Saw the rally caps. And once again you look at Ken Howell. Pulled foul. 2-2.
It was a decision, we talked about it, that the young pitcher made when Strawberry came up. He got a hit on him, striking no balls, and then threw 4 pitches where Strawberry had no chance to get a home run. That walk came back to haunt him.
Yes, and it looked like they were unintentionally but intentionally passing Darryl Strawberry. Runners on the corners. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Good pitching by the ex-Met Roger McDowell, but a wild game here in the 9th inning. A big break for the Mets. It's all tied as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Well, Mackey Sasser stays in the ball game, and the Phillies batting here in the bottom of the 9th will send Ricky Jordan, John Crook, and Charlie Hayes to face Jeff Musselman. Jeff Innes still throwing in the Met bullpen. If you just tuned in, you missed a wild top of the 9th inning. The Mets scored a run, and Steve Lake threw the ball away on a walk to Dave Magadan. The walk forced a runner to second base. Steve Lake threw the ball anyways. There's the breaking ball. This is outside, ball 1. When the ball was thrown away, Strawberry scored from third base. There were runners on first and third. Here's Jeff Innes. It's cued into foul territory. Might have to let it roll. It might roll back into fair territory. One and one. It's all tied up at 1 here at the Vet in unbelievable fashion.
That ball was thrown back in the Musselman. The home plate umpire, Eric Gregg, called to look at it and then threw it out of the ball game. Just a little bit of gamesmanship there.
1-1 pitch misses outside. 2-1.
Used to be a pet theory of Paul Richards. You can get that same ball back to your pitcher. You should do it all the time. When I was a kid, that was one of his little knickknacks that he always taught his young players.
Musselman misses down low. 3-1. Paul Richards had a lot of those theories.
He was good. He made you think about the ball game.
3-1 pitch. There's a high drive. Deep left center field. Carrion's back. He's got room and misses the ball. He missed the ball. Jordan going for 3. The throw. He's safe. An error on Mark Carrion. What will happen next?
Well, I'll tell you, Ricky Jordan did something inexcusable on that ball. He did not run it out hard. He could have almost been thrown out at third base. You see Carrion struggling with the ball. He comes in now, plays it off to the side, and does not get it. Here's Jordan. He really crushes his ball. Hits it straight up, though. He's watching the play. Now, you're telling me he wasn't running hard. And when he got just before second base, he shut it down. Then the ball was dropped. He got to third base anyway. Now the Mets are going to have to bring the outfield in. They're going to have to call Carrion in a little bit. I guess they're going to walk the bases loaded.
John Crook will walk. Then Charlie Hayes will walk. and they'll have to pitch to a very tough Dickie Thon. It's ball 2.
Davy Johnson may elect to go to Jeff Innes, who throws that sinker and an unusual sidearm breaking ball.
Yeah, be a good move. He'll have to bring the right-hander in to pitch to Dickie Thon.
Got to set up the force at all positions. Gene Mauch used to like to play where he would take one of his outfielders that had maybe had some experience in the infield, and he would put 5 men on the infield, hoping that his pitcher would throw the ball on the ground. Davy Johnson coming out now.
You know, Rusty, I wouldn't be surprised with runners on the corners if Jeff Innes pitches to Charlie Hayes. Bring the infield in. You mentioned Innes throwing that ball that sinks. You got a right-hander in Hayes.
If you're going to do this, you might as well set up a force play at the plate.
Who would you rather pitch to, Hayes or Thon?
It's not a matter right now of who you want to pitch to, in my opinion, I'm sorry, Fran. It's it's a situation where, yeah, you don't. This is what's called outhouse or castles.
I never heard that.
If a line drive is hit to one of the outfielders, they should put themselves in a position to be able to make a throw to the plate and force the runner at the plate. That's part of the reason why you would walk one guy or 2 guys to set up the force plays. The Mets are not going to be going for a double play. If they have to throw the ball to the plate and also make a tag, that's more time. You put a little pressure on your pitcher to throw strikes, but in this situation, I think you got to load them up.
Well, we'll see. Jeff Innes brought in to pitch to either Charlie Hayes or Dickie Thon. Runners right now on the corners.
If he was going to walk the bases loaded, I think he would have had Musselman do it.
That's right. Dickie Thon's the type of hitter. He tries to make contact. Charlie Hayes with that big rip. I don't know. It's a tough decision. We can talk about the options, but Davy Johnson has to make the decision. And Randy Myers. Certainly not going to bring in Jeff Innes to walk somebody and then bring Randy Myers in. That's really trickery. Well, Jeff Innes taking his warm-up tosses. He can induce the ground ball, no doubt about it. The infield will play in. I've got a feeling they're going to pitch to Hayes. Charlie Hayes coming into tonight's action, batting .244. 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Dickie Thon batting .245, has played more games, many more at-bats, 9 home runs, 34 RBIs. Charlie Hayes, brought to the major leagues, is a big prospect for the Phillies. Mackey Sasser looking in at Davy Johnson, and they're going to pitch to Charlie Hayes with runners on the corners. Infield and the outfield way in. Swung on and missed, strike 1. I'll tell you one thing, this has turned into a wild ball game for a game that was picture perfect. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Looks like Charlie Hayes has never seen anybody throw the ball from down there.
Well, these are 2 pretty weak hacks. The ball's out of the strike zone. That up and away breaking ball. Very rarely do you see a breaking ball move up.
You know, I'll tell you, Rusty, after seeing those 2 swings as a catcher, I'd say, maybe this guy's trying to set me up. I see the runner on third. Runners on the corners. The 0-2 pitch. There it is. That'll do it. Charlie Hayes getting the job done. After 2 bad hacks, he gets a base hit, driving in the winning run. And what a ball game. So Roger McDowell gets the win. Jeff Musselman takes the loss. A lot of unhappy fans going home, even though we're playing in Philadelphia. A lot of Met fans here at this ball game, and a tough loss for the Mets. It looked like they got back into this ball game. They did in the 9th inning, and then they lost it on an error in the bottom of the 9th. Final score, Phillies 2, Mets 1, and we'll be back. Well, back here at the Vet, an unbelievable ball game, 2-1. The Mets losing to the Phillies. I'm Fran Healy along with Rusty Staub and Ralph Kiner, and we're going to show you our Budweiser play of the game. You won't believe it. Rusty?
Well, it's a high fly ball, a left center field by Ricky Jordan. This is the bottom of the 9th inning. He hits it high, but it's catchable. You see he's just kind of coasting right there. Here comes Carry-On, has a little trouble with it, and the ball goes off his glove for a 3-base error. And that's our Budweiser play of the game. That set up the winning run. Let's take one more look at that. There's Carry-On. You see him going back. Now he's got to come back in. He's struggling on the ball, and he does not get it.
Okay, and that's our Budweiser play of the game, and our Texaco star of the game is right there, Ken Howell. He pitched an outstanding ball game, but he doesn't get a victory. But Ken Howell is our Texaco star of the game, and I'm sure he's confused. Well, anyways, we'll be back with more right after these messages. Sports Channel.
New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. We brew our fine quality beers to be enjoyed responsibly. Remember, know when to say when. By your Toyota dealer. Whatever car or truck you choose, you'll love the quality. Who could ask for anything more? By Texaco, star of the American road. By Manufacturers Hanover, the financial source worldwide. By GE, from plastics to financial services, we bring good things to life. By your New York, New Jersey, Fairfield County Buick dealer. By today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. And by Tri-State Chief Eagle. See your Tri-State Chief Eagle dealer where you can expect the best.